I've got another recipe for you now that's a big hit in our household. Open chicken pie with mushrooms and sweet chili. So this one's a pretty straightforward pie and also very quick. So when you haven't got a lot of time, it's a good one to have in your repertoire. Start with one red onion. Don't have to dice it too fine, and a little bit rustic fine as well. Bit of oil. We're starting our onions off on a low heat. I want to cook them nice and slow and gentle. Get them to soften down a little bit. One clove of garlic, we'd crush this and then chop it nice and fine. Our onions have softened down nicely. We've got to get our chicken in. Now, I'm going to turn the heat up nice and high so that we don't lose too much heat in this pan. And get the garlic in. I said before this is a sweet chili pie, but we're going to make our own sweet chili sauce here using some honey, some chili and some vinegar. So starting with the chili, if you want this really spicy, what you can do is just leave the seeds in or add an extra chili. Or if you're cooking it for your kids, like I often do, just take the seeds out and it's a lot milder this way. So I've just used the back of the knife there, just scrape the seeds out. So I'm not particularly concerned about getting too much colour on this chicken. I just want to make sure it's all sealed so that when we go to cook it later, it doesn't stew too much and dry out. We keep it nice and moist. We're going to cut our chilli as fine as you can. Again, it's a little bit rustic, so it doesn't have to be too fine. I find rather than just chopping madly, being a little bit systematic about the way you do it is a lot easier and makes the process a lot quicker. So our chicken's got a little bit of colour on. We're going to add our mushrooms in, just start getting them cooked through. We're not too worried about getting any colour onto them, we just want to start the cooking process, get them to break down a little bit. I'm going to get our chilli nice and fine. So our mushrooms have started to break down a little bit. Our chicken's well sealed, so I'm happy with this. I'm going to take it out of the pan and get on to making the roux. We'll turn the heat down a little bit. Don't worry about cleaning the pan. Everything's going to end up back in here anyway. We just want to melt our butter down. Don't be scared of a roux. It's actually a very easy thing to make. It just sounds very fancy. It's something the French people do to thicken up their sauces. When the butter's melted, flour goes in. I'm going to basically cook this flour until it reaches a sandy consistency. You know it's not going to taste raw, and that's what we're trying to do here, is just cook out that rawness of the flour. So just a little bit at a time. Chicken stock. At this early stage, just a little bit at a time, and it'll just save it from being a lumpy sauce at the end. So our chicken stock's all in there now. You can see by adding a little at a time, we've made a nice smooth sauce, and it's already quite thick. We can start to get our sweet chili ingredients into there. But first, of course, we turn the chicken, the mushrooms, and the onions. So our chili's in. And of course, if you don't want that much chili, just don't put that much chili in. I've got here some honey. If you don't have honey, you can just use brown sugar. So I've got the sweet, we've got the chili. We need a little bit of acid. For that, we're just going to use a little bit of vinegar. Good pinch of salt. Parsley in. Stir it through. Now in the oven, we've got some puff pastry that we doubled over. We then rolled it out very gently, just to make sure they were joined together. Cut out some nice rounds, and then we baked them in the oven. Now I did a little score on the top of this just for a little bit of theatrics. You don't need to do that, just adds a little bit of chefiness to the dish. I'm just serving mine up. The rest of the family can come and help themselves later. Now here's a great dish. A little bit fancy, a little bit simple. I can't wait to get stuck into it.